we flip the page and find ourselves once again on a boardwalk. We start with a wide panel establishing people huddled under tents and parts of the little shops here down at the boardwalk as the rain is really starting to come in. But one thing that stands out to everybody as you approach the boardwalk is the giant crowd outside Drip's stand.
Drip stand?
Yes, Drip's
Drip's
Drip shop.
shop? Huh.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going straight there.
Man, looks like you picked a good day to take off, huh?
I'm a bit worried. I'll be honest.
Outside of Drip's curio collection, you can see there is a crowd of people throwing up their sand dollars, begging for one of these necklaces that Drip is selling.
Did Drip give one to Cynthia earlier?
No, but I think he showed it.
Oh, okay.
Like
He showed it
the new.
and he gave it to Aiden. And the crowd is so big and it's extending from page to page.
What time
and
is it?
It is about 6 p.m. at this point, I'd
Damn.
say. Like, I think it's summertime right now, and
Yeah.
school's out, and right now the days are a little bit longer, but you can tell, despite that this storm is still rolling in. And despite that, you can see that amidst the crowd, you can see tons of different speech bubbles emitting out. All right, I need one from my family, please, please. Another part of the crowd screams out, please, please, please. Hi, my house just got destroyed. I need one. And Drip is at the front. All right, everybody, settle down, settle down. We got plenty of stock here. And gracious enough to keep the store open, but please, all I need you guys to do, settle down, please, please. And he's trying to manage this crowd.
Oh my god, sir! I'm gonna run up and do anything I can to help. I'm gonna start like corralling people into line and like walking up and
Getting a handle on the. And he looks over at you. Oh, thank God. Cynthia, can I ask you to just get a handle on this crowd?
Yeah. Hey, everybody, back up one sec. We'll be right with you in a couple minutes. We just need some time to get the stock together and make sure we can get everyone's orders in. And I look at Drip like, whoa.
And he kind of shrugs. But eventually, with your help, the crowd does begin to subside, and
I think I do a similar thing as to what I did with the crowd in the other instance, where I kind of like extend my arm out to like get everyone's attention, just kind of down the thing, and it's like, hey.
Oh, lovely. You kind of take control of this situation. This is your job. You're familiar with handling crowds, but I don't think you've seen one quite this big. So it takes a few minutes, and everybody's kind of standing on the sidelines, it seems. Is anybody talking to Cynthia or talking to each other?
I want to get a closer, and I think I say this to the two that are still here, because Cynthia's kind of just, I want to get a closer look at one of these necklaces. Like, do they do anything?
You can see somebody is just putting on a necklace as they're leaving the crowd, and you can see on it at the end is this like little I forget. I really need to have like a document of like creature names. A
Is it
clam.
a trilobite? A clam.
It's
okay.
a clam. It's a clam. And it's like this like pale looking clam that is roped in through like a string. It looks very simple.
Like, is it like half a clam, or is it the full? You know, where it's
Oh, the
like,
full clam.
it's just the full thing like closed.
The entirety of the clam closed. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, they certainly clammed up.
I would like to, and I'm like compelled to do this because I'm trying to work on my checkoff sheet, but if I mess it up, it is gonna kind of suck. I want to try to jump over the crowd to where Cynthia is.
If you're trying to pull off an acrobatic stunt, this
I mean, this is a crowd the likes of which we haven't seen.
I think
And I
In
want to
my-
know what Cynthia's privy to. I want to get over there.
You've jumped over a volcano before. I think this is not a ridiculous stunt in comparison to that. I have a feeling you can just do this. What is a ridiculous stunt? I will define is if you're trying to really in this moment show off, you don't have a lot of control of your power. You could overshoot it and like skip the crowd and like land right next to the stand per se. But if you're trying to like thread the needle, go in between the top part of the sign and like you're trying to thread the needle of this window of the store to like really take control, really show off in this moment, you definitely could. And I think you might be compelled to because in the distance, amidst this crowd shouting, you do see Aiden the Noble begin to stroll up.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah, I definitely want to do that because I want to be right next to like Cynthia and Drip, as if, you know, this thing that everybody wants. I'm helping.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, do I roll for that?
I think I think this is a unleash your powers.
Oh,
freak.
fuck. That's freak. Yeah.
That's a plus freak, which I don't. What is your current freak score?
I think it's 0, so that's nice.
No negative.
It's at least not negative. Yep.
And I'll go ahead and say that I'm helping out if necessary. Like I'm
Trust
clocking
I will
this
be
in, I'm
spending
like,
a
you
team
got
point
it.
if I fail.
You got it.
I will point out
think so.
we are currently at 2 team points.
Oh boy.
Trust
It
we
is
will be at 1
quite
if I
hard.
fail.
That is
Okay,
an
what did I roll?
8. That is a mixed success. If people wanted to spend your last 2 remaining team points to do this cool thing, you could.
What's a mixed success mean here?
Here it means you mark a condition, or the GM will tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary. I'm curious. What are you thinking, Emma?
I could help with just 1 team point and bring it up to a full success.
It's
How
an
you
8.
feeling?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a
It's
full
an 8.
success. Yeah.
So it would
No,
be
I have
2.
a special thing that lets me use 1 team point to help and add 2 instead.
Whoa, that's actually awesome.
Yeah.
The benefit here would be if you were to fully do it, there is no drawback. And I will make it extra cool.
Like how are
But
you
it
feeling,
would
Louis?
it would spend one of our team points.
It
and
would
we only
Spend
get
definitely-
one of
2?
our team
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
Okay,
And-
because the alternative is I get a condition.
Or
You're just
Anish
gonna eat the
or
condition?
Anish decides something. Doesn't
Or
have
it's
to be a condition.
unstable, yeah.
But it's still
Because
success.
the only conditions, the only condition that would maybe make sense is, even though I complete this feat and it's cool, I am insecure that it wasn't enough. So I could see taking insecure as a condition.
You know what? I won't help. I'll be emotional support, but I have to do something destructive anyway. I was thinking of just like hitting someone and being like, "Hell yeah! Did you see that?" and like hyping you up. But I'll just cheer.
Oh, okay, that's how your move works.
Or afraid, but
I-
that maybe doesn't work as much.
I think insecure is lovely considering who is approaching.
Okay, so I make the jump, I thread the needle, I'm in the mix, didn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, I think feel free to embellish how fucking sick this is, because normally your powers are hard to control, but this is like you've hit every right input. This is like a speedrunner's dream.
Up,
You're
down, down, left,
coasting-
right, left, right.
Yeah, you've coasted the crowd, and you
Happy feet,
Again-
happy feet.
again, things are still kind of in chaos. Cynthia's trying her best. What in this moment with your powers do you do as you land?
I look to Bree and Forrest and I say, Aiden's coming. And I ground myself. I spring upwards. I do a flip. And as I'm looking down at the crowd, I'm like, hey, everybody. And I land and I'm like, we'll have enough shells for everyone. and I look at Cynthia and I'm like, all right, quick, how do I help?
Do you work here now?
I just figured, with this crowd, maybe you could use some emergency backup.
Yeah.
I guess I look at Drip and I'll go, Louie.
I'm Drip of Drip's Curio Collection. I'm glad to have the help, I suppose.
Do I see Aiden in the crowd?
You do see Aiden approaching.
I clock Louis doing this, and I see Aiden, and I kind of, and I look to Drip, and I give sort of like a face, like a I don't know, just kind of a
suggestive.
Yeah. And I try to keep it subtle.
And I think, Louis, you do have a meaningful effect on this crowd. Like, first of all, you do a couple sick fucking flips, and the crowd is like, everybody kind of claps. And in this moment, they're kind of encouraged to look at themselves and be like, hey, you know what? Kid did a sick flip. Maybe we can be coordinated with this as well. So everybody begins to follow, Cynthia's directions. You're making separate different lines with your long arms, and then Aiden approaches. And Aiden looks out at the crowd, and you know he's seen this sick flip that you just did. You know for a fact. And then you can see his eye line begin to follow you down, as you see you are standing on what seems to be a crushed, little bit of a cracked necklace.
I landed on a necklace?
Yep. And the person who was reaching out to it was like, Drip, can I get a different one? And, the interaction proceeds as usual. And you can see Aiden kind of, put his fingers to his temple as he begins to move forward and say, all right, everybody, please settle down. There's enough necklaces to go around for everybody. And Drip kind of steps forward and puts a hand on your shoulder, Louis, and says, I think we're fine here. The boy's done plenty enough. We don't need you.
My mouth is definitely agape.
Yeah, I look at Bree.
For Aiden.
What are these things?
He said that to who?
Drip has said that to Aiden as he is approached. He's actually defending Louis in this moment.
I think I'm speechless.
And what do the necklaces do?
What do they do?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
In the back of the crowd. What do they do?
Yeah, I whisper to Bree. I'm like, Bree, do we know what these things do? And then you just shout it out to the crowd.
And somebody who's walking away turns around and says, "Oh, they're monster repellent. They drive monsters away." And immediately, Bree, this person looks familiar. Their head looks a little bit roughed up. You actually saved this person earlier today. They were about to get trampled amidst the complete carnage that was
the setup crab. The crab that was enlarged to
and
terrorize
this person
the town.
And the person's like, I mean, monsters are getting crazy. If the witches can't defend themselves, what hope do we have? I mean,
We
Drip's
did
doing a
defend
service.
the witch.
Well, the witch couldn't clearly fight back against the crab. She did nothing. These monsters are too powerful.
How much did you spend on that?
Well, it wasn't too much.
How much?
What's not too much?
$3 sand dollars.
How much is that?
I don't know. It's like
How much do you earn a day?
Is this a $5 or like a
this
$20?
This is $20.
That's too much for a little necklace.
I mean,
For the safety of my family,
$20.
I'm willing to pay it.
There's no way he had a giant crab attack just to sell necklaces for profit. There's no
There
way.
is
just-
so
Wait. No,
that
but
he
also
did that.
$20, like a necklace, like that's not that much. Like
That's not that much.
when I
It's not
when I say not that
much.
much, like not that much for them to spend. I'm just saying I'm saying like if he's trying to make money, like you would charge a lot
And I'd
more
drive
than
it
that.
up,
Yeah.
No,
This
no,
is a
no.
beach salesman. This is a
Are
guy on
you
the boardwalk.
kidding?
That's a
This
cheap
is-
price. I've seen
it's
people
like
sell
those,
crystals for more than that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
like those bracelets that are made of the cord, where it's like, if you're ever in the
Fighting.
wilderness,
Yeah.
you can use this cord and survive. And it's like, when am I, like, the odds of that happening and me wearing that bracelet are not high. Like,
Oh, you're
what are
talking
we
about like the
about?
parachute cable or like the bungee cord?
Yes.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Okay, so I'm kind of stunned to see what Aiden will say in response to this. In
Aiden is
response to "You're not needed, we have it handled."
I think the crowd kind of reacts a little bit. And Aiden says, well, it's my job as a titled individual to make sure that everybody here is all right. And young Louis here would recognize that as a young, aspiring hero himself. And I think this is where we feel your conditions
Insecurity, yeah.
begin to hit in.
Well, if I were to assess the situation, I would see that there's a need that needs to be met, and I would think the more heroes there to help meet the need makes the job easier. Right?
Excuse
Teamwork
me.
makes the dream work.
Drip and Mr. the Noble, I can see that this is a very busy moment for you, and we actually had a question for you guys. Why don't Louie and I go do something else right now, and you guys can handle this?
Oh, and we have your powder.
Oh, you do? Oh, thank you.
Forrest has it.
Oh, great. And you see he smiles as he walks towards Forrest.
No!
It is nice, though, because there's not tension anymore. It's diffused
Yeah, the crowd is completely diffused. You actually did help a lot. However, Aiden is walking towards Forrest, leaving you standing on the counter. Drip kind of taps your shoulder for a second. I mean, we still got a business to run here, so feel free to step back in. And he grabs the kind of cracked shell, the cracked clam amulet. There's like a little crack running down the middle. Here, take this if you'd like. Free of charge. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey, thanks. I'm real sorry I broke it.
No. It's fine. It's not that big of a piece of damage. Should still work fine.
Oh, great. Well, if there's nothing else I can do to help,
You've done plenty. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're a lifesaver. He's gonna.
Okay.
I think he wants to shift your labels up to savior, and reduce maybe mundane,
word.
or reduce the danger actually, because he's telling you that it was only a little scratch.
You said up savior?
And lower danger. Yep.
Yes.
Are you wearing the necklace?
Okay.
He's admitting.
I think I will, and I will give Cynthia space to figure out this rock question.
You can go ahead and take that out of my paycheck if you want. This is probably my fault.
That is the last thing I'll do. All right, keep it moving, and I think it'll be a couple more minutes before the crowd is fully dispersed. Well, I got to thank you so much. You came in very handy there. Really appreciate it, Cynthia.
No problem. I know I'm not on the clock or anything, but I'm happy to help out wherever I need to. And I don't know, now that they're gone, I don't know if you have a second. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I have a question for you if you're available.
Yes, for you, of course.
Wait, this wouldn't happen to be my move, would it, actually, now that I think about it?
What is your move?
Like
It's
getting advice.
Fireside chat. When you seek advice from your mentor, roll the label they embody. So I
You're
hold
rolling
it out.
plus mundane.
Yeah. And I say, do you know what this, do you know anything about this? Should I roll?
Here's what's gonna happen. Drip is gonna look at the rock and kind of take a look at this and really take it in for a second, like he's calculating something, like he's really thinking hard about whatever he's about to say next. And he says, I don't think I've ever seen something like this. Where did you find this?
We were helping out Forrest's mom, who was attacked by this crab. It was this big thing, and she was holding that. She said it was delivered to her with some kind of letter to her. I'm not really sure what that means. What do you think we should do? Should we try and trace the source of the letter? How do you think we should find that? I figured I'd bring it to you because you know all about like random shells and minerals sometimes.
I do. I just never seen something quite like this. You and your friends, though. Louis, have you stuck by?
No, I think I gave Sylvia. I gave Cynthia space to ask about the rock.
Cool. Is Bree kind of close?
I think I'd like to sneak and watch
This interaction?
Yeah.
I'm
100%.
fiddling with the crack trying to get this
Definitely.
thing.
I think Drip takes this moment. It seems you're trying to earn a title yourself there. You're doing a lot of good around the city. Is that something you'd like?
A title?
Yeah.
I mean, that'd probably be really helpful. Yeah. I've been trying to do a lot. I'm pretty busy all the time, and I'm really trying. I guess that is kind of my end goal. Now that I think about it, I didn't really think about why I was doing it much. I was just kind of doing it all to do it. But is that what you think I should do?
Yes. Emma, you look to be making a face.
Well, I'm wondering if I could be assessing a situation here of just watching and trying to see if Cynthia's in any danger. Because I'm suspicious of Drip.
Oh, 1,000%. 100%. Yeah.
I want to do that in case anything happens. So I've
Sure,
done it.
sure.
Am I doing my mentor move, or is that separate?
I think you are doing your mentor move.
Okay.
This is the time.
What is assess a situation? Okay, that's superior.
On a hit, they will tell you what to do. On a 10 plus, mark potential if you follow their advice and take +1 ongoing to follow through.
Cynthia, you got a 13 plus. Bree has rolled an 8 to assess the situation. I'm going to solve this in order of assessing the situation and then the advice. 8 on a mixed success. On assess the situation, you get to ask one question, take +1 while acting on the answers. Is there a specific question you want to ask?
I would like to ask.
Maybe the open-ended question. What here can I use to blank, blank, blank? Because it seems like you're looking for something specific. That's my suggestion.
So whenever I do an assess the situation, I also have the move Criminal Mind that allows me to also ask one of my own specific questions.
Oh, what?
And I think I'm curious. I want to use one of those first, and then I'm going to ask the basic one.
Yes, because you can always ask one of your Criminal Mind questions.
Yeah. And so I want to ask what here is useful or valuable to me. And part of it is I'm trying to figure out the value, like the true value of the stuff in Drip Shop.
Of the shells and stuff?
Yeah, like is it worth it? Is it valuable?
Here's what's of value to you. You can see this conversation proceed, and throughout the story, you get a general sense that, yeah, a lot of these shells are quite valuable. Most of the valuable shells are underneath like glass cases and then like tucked in chests with locks. And beyond that, you see, as this conversation proceeds, Cynthia looking up at Drip. Drip is a tall person, I imagine. I've never talked about what I've face cast these people as, but I've face cast Aiden, the noble, as Dev Patel in like The Green Knight.
Yes.
And I face cast Drip as like Beach Bum Hosier. So like I think he's like tall. But
Take me to Jake's. I want a large shrimp with a bucket of crab. Okay, sorry.
You asked the question.
What's valuable to me?
Okay, you see the look of admiration in Cynthia's eyes as she looks up at Drip. And Cynthia's affection is valuable to you. If you could get close to Drip, if you could talk about Drip with Cynthia a little bit more, I think she could give you what you're looking for. But this conversation proceeds, and it's also beginning to come clear to you that Cynthia also wants to be a hero. Those are pieces of information you know.
What here can I use to disillusion Cynthia?
I think. Okay. Here's what you see. Where are you as you're kind of sneaking?
I like to think he's got like a shop, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a beachside shop, like a little stand.
I like to think that I'm literally like peering through the cracks of the wall. Like I'm outside watching. Or
You're
like in
outside
the
watching.
back, like peeking, or like cup up to the side of the wall listening and like checking it out.
Lovely. There are a couple of vouchers to Jake's jumbo giblets, but they are dated before Miranda would have supposedly given Jake his power. And you've been on this boardwalk enough time. It kind of strikes you now. It kind of strikes you now the fact that Jake's Jumbo Giblets is a rebrand. So, in this kind of trash out here, you see a voucher that is dated good before Jake's Jumbo Giblets would have existed.
And it says Jumbo Giblets.
It says Jumbo Giblets on it.
So it's almost like Drip knew.
It's weird. It's like a logical inconsistency. Maybe Jake Jumbo Giblets didn't actually make the physical sign, but it's interesting,
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
I grabbed some.
Yeah.
wait. You're saying it was rebranded to something like the name was changed, and this is the name before the name was
Yeah.
changed. So like it is
Yeah,
now
Jake's
Jake Jumbo Giblets,
Jumbo-
but it used to be something else.
Jake's Giblets.
Oh, now it's
It used to be Jake's Giblets.
So the sign said
And
That's the example I'll give.
the thing says Jake.
And the
Giblets.
vouchers say Jake's Jumbo Giblets, and they're from before he could make
Jake's.
things jumbo. I pocket it,
Okay.
and I think I just keep listening in case it gets terse, and I have to walk around and be like, "Okay, Cynthia, we have to go," but I'm not gonna
Lovely.
interrupt.
The conversation continues, and Drip says, it's a good thing to want to be a hero, especially for this community. Down here in the reef, we need good people like you, Cynthia. But you deserve to be a kid, and I need you down here from time to time, just for now. Hope you won't forget me in the midst of everything. Just keep in mind, really ask yourself what's important to you. Because at the end of the day, no matter what I say, no matter what anybody else says, you get to make that choice about what's important. And when you make that decision, be unapologetic. Whether that means you want to continue the legacy of Drip when he's gone, but I have a feeling you're destined for much better things than that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm not good with words.
I think that you are doing a good thing. I think that you are protecting the community, and I think that our values are aligned in that. So, yeah, of course I'd stick by your side. You've helped me through a lot, so thank you.
Yeah, but you're your own person.
Right.
What's with these friends of yours, by the way? I keep
Oh,
seeing you with them.
yeah. I'm sorry about that. They're cool. We've got like a band together, and it's super fun. I don't they don't really come around work very often. Are they still around us? Or they're probably like distant, right?
You see Forrest in the
Louis
distance
left.
talking
That's
to
right.
Aiden, and then Louis is left.
I know you asked me to pay close attention to Louis.
Bree is shocked. Write something down.
Jot that down.
He has some. I think he seems like he's got the right motivations, but he seems really tied up to Aiden and what he's doing. So I don't really know. Like that seems to be sort of the biggest influence on his life. And honestly, I mean, with that stunt he pulled, I'm a bit worried that it could get in the way of us actually accomplishing things sometimes.
No, I think he's got a good heart. It's just when you got a good heart, it's easily for that heart to get swayed. So I think just keep an eye on him. Make sure he doesn't take things too far. Doesn't you know try so hard to be something noble.
Huh.
You know.
No. Yeah.
Well, but that Forrest, you've been friends with them for a while.
Yeah,
Right.
we did a couple things before this team really formed. So we've known each other probably the longest.
Right. They doing well?
I think so. We met their mom. Nothing really. I don't know. I've been paying as close attention, but Forrest, pretty competent, pretty good at their job. I mean, we're all working together as a team, and I think that we all mesh pretty well.
Sounds good. You got a good group of teens around you, but they can look up to you for guidance.
You think so?
Yeah, you got a natural leadership quality about you. Either way, I got some business to take care of here. Just inventory and stuff. You got the day off.
Yeah. Let me get out of your hair. Thanks for looking at the rock. I guess it's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Make
I
sure
put it back in the
to
box.
take a necklace just in case.
Oh.
These attacks are getting rough.
Sure. Thanks. Yeah. I put
And
it on.
for your friends as well, you can keep them.
Oh, well, that's really nice.
And he gives you a necklace for each of your friends.
Sweet. I take them all, and I head off.
Okay. Splitting the page in half, we see a different panel with a different conversation as Aiden has approached you, Forrest. I see you've gone and helped me once again. Thank you so much, Forrest. And he reaches out for the bag of shield powder.
I hand it to him, and I say, "Well, I just want to help the city, but I did have help from my friends. We are a team."
Yes, a team. And who's your leader?
Well, I guess it depends. Based on the situation, who's best to lead in certain circumstances, whether that be, more athletics, speed, or crowd control.
And he kind of looks a little confused. Well, I'm sure that may work in the short term, but you seem to be pretty serious about this group of heroes in the making, I suppose. I mean, at some point, there's gonna be a leader. A leader. One.
Well, I mean, I think we can't we all lead in our own way.
In the chaos of battle, I think obscurity, flimsiness can lead to even more harm. You have to stick to your guns. And those people out there, they need somebody they can rely on.
Okay.
somebody they can always rely on. Of course, I don't work with a group of people because in the past I've experienced similar things, and well, once you get to a certain level, you don't need to work with other people, in my opinion. Of course, you could prove me wrong. What
I
is
think Forrest was kind of.
yeah? What is Forrest thinking? What's the thought bubble?
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, no. This whole conversation is tough because I think Forrest, like as a character, like as a person, really, you know, like wants to help people, and parts there is that aspect of like running away from the witches and that kind of stuff. But still, at the end of the day, like Forrest really loves their friends. Especially like people they've known for a while. And doesn't want to lose, and especially with what happened with Luigi. Especially what happened with Louis recently, I think has kind of made things come into focus about what really matters. And Forrest doesn't want to lose friends through petty arguments, miscommunications, and those kinds of things, and realizes, and I still feel kind of guilty. I still have that condition a little bit. And so I want to be someone who like brings my friends together. And I think I've recognized through Cynthia, because Cynthia the leader of the first one?
Cynthia.
Of the first combat. Yeah, I think I've realized through Cynthia taking lead and then me taking the lead, but also with Bree standing up and doing her thing and controlling the crowd, that there is something to be said for different people taking control of different situations depending on what actually helps them. So I think I don't really agree with what he's saying.
Well, at a certain point, when you have powers as powerful as us, you may get to a point, a crossroads, where you may find that it's more of a liability to involve your friends. And it's an uncomfortable thought, but you might have to think about it one day. But for now, feel free to enjoy with your friends. Just keep a close eye on that Louis and Bree in particular. They're not as, their powers don't extend in the same way as ours do. You'll keep an eye on them, right?
I look at him and I kind of stand up for my friends a little bit and I say, and they'll keep an eye on me.
Ooh.
Interesting. I'm curious to know how much attitude you're doing this with. Is this kind or respectful, or are you risking your reputation with Aiden with this remark?
I don't think I'm at the point yet where I'm trying to risk my reputation. I think this is kind of like if I get pushed a little bit further, like I could see getting to that point where I'm trying to I'm risking my reputation. But at this point, I think I'm saying it respectfully. I disagree respectfully.
Lovely. I think he does not understand your tone at all. I think in this moment, he completely is like, yeah, of course. That's literally what he says. I think he's dismissing it and dismissing you as a young teen who was in his position.
Doesn't understand.
And is viewing you as naive.
Oh, brother.
And he's going to turn around because he's not got the message, and he's going to walk away. Unless you want to say something.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to continue. I think I just want to be done with this conversation. It's, I want to be done with this conversation. It's awkward enough already.
Lovely. Where's Louis?
Louis has been fiddling with my broken shell necklace. And let's say I'm near Jake's jumbo crab stand.
Oh,
nonchalant.
Jake seems to be closing shop. And as you approach with the necklace, he starts to yell, "Whoa, hey, no necklaces here." You can see crabs in the tanks in the back of Jake's jumbo giblets, where he keeps all his fresh seafood, begin to react to the necklace. All the crustaceans begin to crowd into one corner.
Oh, apologies.
Yeah. It's not great. It's not great.
What
They don't-
have you noticed with these necklaces?
They drive off crabs and any sort of crustacean monsters nearby. That's good for wrangling them up for sure, but I don't need them stressed out. It affects the taste.
I have a active move called straight up creeping. When you scope out hold for applause. When you
love the
scope
word.
out a person or place, roll mundane, and then I can ask some questions. My mundane
Yeah, this is a
currently.
person's base, sure. I let me double check something.
Okay, my mundane is currently +1. That is it.
The questions for this move are: what's my best way in and out? What happened here recently? What here is worth grabbing? Who or what here is not what they seem? Whose place is this? A couple of those seem like good questions to potentially ask. Let's roll it.
On a miss, you find yourself in over your head. The GM will tell you why this is a bad spot. So with that, we roll.
A 9.
Okay.
Nice.
I think I'll probably
What
go.
are you trying to do?
I'm asking a question. I think I'll probably try to scope out who or what here is not what they seem. Because to hear monsters, but then these presumably regular looking crabs are affected, and knowing what we know that Jake had the power, but was, whatever. I know something's off, but I can't quite place it. And I'm surveying the area, trying to get the math to math.
You can see Jake is kind of closing up shop for the day, and he's counting up his sand dollars from like his little register. But as he's gathering them up, he's kind of ignoring you for a bit. As he goes over to the side, opens up what looks like a briefcase that is filled with sand dollars, an extreme amount of them, one could say, and puts the money he's earned today in there. And he kind of looks a little suspiciously around, and you duck around the corner a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems Jake has come up into a lot of money.
And if Louis were one to jump to conclusions, the conclusion he might land on is somebody paid him to send a big old crab towards the woods where the witches live.
You're free to assume.
Okay.
I think we flip the page, and I think everybody is now gathered around each other again.
I want to so chilly be like, oh yeah, we probably want to check out the crab shack soon. I found these vouchers while we were over at Drip's place, so could be good. And just I wanted to allow everyone else to notice what I noticed. Fingers crossed that I don't have to spell it out.
I completely forgot to ask Drip about Jake. Should I go back and do that?
Well, the only point I was going to make is if we want to check out the crab shack, is it better if it's open or closed?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty hungry.
Is our goal to investigate this or to confront Jake?
I don't know if any of y'all noticed the date on the voucher. How odd, right?
What are you talking about?
Just take a look at the vouchers that I found at Drip's place. Isn't that odd?
What is odd
Yeah,
about
I
this?
guess it used to be just Jake's crab shack, but now it's Jake's jumbo crab shack. And actually, when I went over there, he had a jumbo amount of cash with him, as if somehow the crabs being jumbo and him making money and the necklaces are all connected.
And yeah, this voucher says Jake's Jumbo Crab Shack, but the date is from way, way before. Like before he switched the names. It's almost like somebody knew.
Oh, I guess he was planning a big switch.
I know we're investigating crabs, but something about all this smells fishy.
You can say that again.
How could he have known if he was going to get his power before he got the power, though?
It's a great question.
Because not even Miranda would have known that, right?
Does anyone know that?
And to everybody's collective general knowledge, that is a very unusual thing. Perhaps it's a logical inconsistency. Perhaps literally it was just a branding thing that he had been planning. It's hard to say.
I almost feel like that's what we should ask Drip about, since he's so knowledgeable about shells. Maybe we could all go talk to him.
Well, he doesn't really deal with the power side of the shells as much. I think he mostly sells them as...
Well, I mean, like the necklaces have powers.
Is Jake? Are we near the crab shack? Like, have we walked to the? We're deciding whether to go to the crab shack.
I think so, yeah.
Hey, what do y'all do? It seems like you are not at the crab shack or close to it. Otherwise, Jake would be close by.
Listening.
Do we know that... Okay, this is a question about me. Do I know that Drip has a power? Do people know that what Drip's power is?
Yes, it's very well known.
Okay.
Do we
he
know
goes
that
shell diving.
Drip is the one who encouraged Kermit to destroy the village, or that's
No
that's a
one
secret?
knows anything about that.
Okay.
I
I
don't think that is the case. Question mark.
I don't
I
think...
We just know that they were friends, right? Like, we
Well,
don't
no,
know that, but
it-
that
So
was the
Drip
thing.
from single unique power, information that we know out of character is that Drip has taken Kermit the Frog under their wing.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they were just buddies.
I am leaning towards asking Cynthia, you go ask your boss about what to do with all this information. Or should I know?
We could
I
split
should
up.
tell Aiden.
I think we should all go together.
Aiden. Well, I don't know if we should talk
Yeah.
to Aiden
Wait,
right now.
Aiden don't know what to
Louis.
do.
What would Aiden know?
Louis, bud, think about how proud Aiden will be when you crack this case wide open and solve it.
I look
Bree,
towards.
that's
I,
why
as
you're
you
my
say-
bestie.
As you say that, Bree, I like nod and give like you the look like thank you.
So yeah, I think we should all I think we should stick together, is what I think.
Okay, because I'm not feeling ready to confront Jake. I mean, we have a basis. Should we just confront him? I don't know.
feel
This
like we know that
conversation
it could
continues and speech bubbles continue on the page, and they kind of fill the page as you're all deliberating. And breaking past the speech bubbles is Jake, as Jake is fully packed up for the day and is walking away with a briefcase, and he seems to be walking pretty quickly, all the way home.
Let's tail him.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
He passes Drip's shack. All right, Drip, have a nice night. And Drip kind of gives a little wave goodbye. And
I think we should stealth follow.
Do we tail him or do we...
We tail him. I want to tail him.
Can we split up or is that not advised? I can go.
Where are you going?
I want to ask... I want to
should go.
ask Drip. I feel like I would ask Drip.
I'll just come with you. Y'all follow because you're fast and speedy and stuff.
True. We got the getaway.
And I'm
Powers.
good at emotions, so we
Yeah,
can
we can-
talk and get to the bottom of it.
We can follow
Okay.
Crab Man. Good old Jake.
lovely. I'll resolve the Drip thing first.
As
Drip
we walk there, I make a joke like, just the two of us. It's like a date.
Oh,
Just kidding. That's just a joke.
yeah, like a date to... I just kind of stumble over that and I keep walking.
overhears that for some reason as he's backing up shop, and kind of gives you both a
Jake?
look. No, overhears Bree and Cynthia sort of flirting, and just kind of shakes his head a little bit.
Hey, sorry, I forgot to ask you something before we were leaving. Jake, and I saw you just talk to him. What's he's you know him, right? You kind of know everybody around here. What's up with him?
And he kind of takes a second, takes in the question. And he looks at you, Bree.
Uh-huh. I'm piercing the mask here also.
Lovely. That's what I was hoping for.
Nice. Yeah,
I think this
think
is a great
I
time.
don't think we've pierced the mask like that much. We've done more like assessing
Yeah, I'm
Nope.
piercing the
a
mask.
lot.
We've twisted the
yeah.
knife.
Lovely. I think you roll a plus mundane.
And
You have
that's
rolled
a
a
miss.
5. Oh
My ass
dear.
is not helping you.
And let me double check. Okay, yeah. I can't use it when I use my... You're not helping me at all? You don't get to the bottom of it?
I trust Drip
Yeah, but
implicitly.
don't you
I'm not
trust-
piercing his mask.
Don't you trust him to reveal himself to me in a true way because he's good under
I'm not
there?
looking to pierce his mask. I feel like I've already put.
Wait,
pierced
but
his
wouldn't it
mask.
take all of the team
I would
points we
have
have
to-
left?
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, it would.
Yeah, I'm just looking at him.
And you also mark potential.
Oh, okay.
Lovely. Every time we fail, we mark potential.
Oh. And thankfully, for any of us who haven't done that, we also have a nice log that we can go back and see if we failed.
Yeah.
We also be careful when you're looking at though. Be careful when you're looking at that though, because a lot of these failures we did
make them.
successes. I feel
Yeah.
like every
Yeah.
single failure this session we've moved to a success because I think I've been trying to keep track.
Not
of that.
everyone.
Almost.
I
all
think
of them.
pretty much all.
maybe.
Maybe not this 4. I don't know what this 4 was that Tori got.
That was just me starting the, like, I was messing around when we were getting
Lovely.
set up.
Okay.
Just
I was just
making
messing
sure everything
around.
still works.
You were like, I don't know about
I don't know what this 4 is. This is failure that
awful
Louis
roll.
did.
Louis G, more like Louis
What is it?
L.
What happens on a failure with?
More like
reading through that.
loser.
I don't think there's a specific thing that is said. But here's what Pierce the Mask says in terms of description. Pierce the Mask is for seeing who someone really is beneath whatever facade they present. It's about understanding another person. It requires you to watch someone, observe them, pick up on their body language. You don't have to be talking with them to trigger it, but it's easier to say you're trying to pierce the mask when you're talking to them. However, I don't think it says specifically what a failure could be on this, so here's the hard move I'm going to take on you.
Yeah.
Bree, what's your superior right now?
I think it's 1.
Gotcha. I think you have a decent sense of yourself, and you're always reading people, reading their true motives, and I think you are a generally suspicious person, so you trust your gut. Cynthia's talking with this person, and Drip is pleasant. He's a salesperson, sure, but you've seen him interact with his customers. He's not trying to sell anything. I think in this moment, you really begin to understand that Drip really loves his people. He loves his people, and I think he has a lot of positive feelings towards Cynthia as well. Like he really, really thinks she is a good kid. And despite your delinquency, you, on a surface level, can say that you don't believe him. Certainly. But from this moment on, there is a tiny bit of doubt that creeps in because you look at the way Cynthia looks at Drip, and you like Cynthia. And that's for a reason. She's pretty straight-laced about anything, and she's got a good head on her shoulders. Maybe you can trust Drip. And the conversation continues.
And we know that the necklaces work.
They do.
So even if he did set something up, it might have been for a good, like, then people are protected. So it's just that initial get them to buy it.
Yeah. And this conversation continues, and all of this has been happening in the background. A majority of this conversation has been happening in the text panels behind Bree's thought bubble, right? And I think we finished the conversation. And Cynthia, you get nothing. You get the fact that Drip knows Jake. He knows him pretty well. He rebranded pretty recently. And since then, the quality of the food has gone up and the portion size has gone up. That's it.
All right. Well, I guess we ought to catch up with the other two, unless there's anything else. Any other questions you think we had, Bree? Right?
No. Yeah, that's... What, do we specifically ask, like, there was a giant crab, do you think that Jake could have been behind that?
I think that I do say that. I think that I do confide in him, and I say that I mean, I say what we know, and we know that he got a power from Miranda that is to grow creatures, and that we think that he could have been the one to do that, to grow that crab.
I mean, Jake's a good guy. I he really does a lot of good for this boardwalk. I mean, it's hard to believe that he'd do that. Quite frankly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what reason he could have.
I mean, we did see a. I think I'm at this point just sharing information with him,
Okay.
honestly. Like, we did see that he had a lot of money. Do you know of anyone who could have wanted to harm the witches specifically?
I mean, plenty of people. Certainly. You kids are approaching something that could be very dangerous. And he kind of gets this look about him. And you know, with this recent influx of people, I imagine, especially with somebody targeting me earlier today, where we're at risk of
That's really
theft
true.
here. Cynthia, let me pay you a week's advance. Could you just stay behind and look after the shop tonight?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think it's for the best. I got some business in town, but I promise. Here, I can pay you right now. And he's gonna try to pay you a week's worth of advance to stay and watch the shop tonight. I know you guys are on the track of something, but I'm worried about the shop.
I think that's reasonable, and you know, I do try to. I'm doing all this stuff with the hero stuff, but this is also a priority for me. So I'm happy to. I can do whatever. Bree, if you want to go ahead and catch up with the others and with what they're doing, feel free. I'll just stay behind.
Yeah. Do you have your cell phone?
Yeah.
If anybody attacks the shop, feel free to call,
Oh,
and
of
then
course.
we can come provide backup.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Great. Can you you have the spare keys, right? And he's kind of stumbling over his words.
Is everything okay?
He's,
Sir?
he's I don't know. Just today's making me nervous, I guess. A lot of money at once.
That's fair.
All right, I'm going to be leaving the shop now. You're okay with this?
Yeah. Are you cool if I brew a pot of coffee though from your
Of course,
coffee maker?
yeah.
I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
need some of that. And like you see just the
Cynthia
deepest
loves
bags
coffee.
under her eyes already, and she's just like strictly fueled by caffeine at this point.
Oh
Lovely.
no.
I mean, you're totally fine. And I'll take a day off of next week for you. Just
No,
rest is
it's
important.
fine. It's fine. Honestly, give me more. You know.
I don't think that's healthy, but you know.
And she's like shaking as she puts a cup of coffee to her face. I'm
Kind
good.
of rubs his temples. All right, I'm a leave. Thank you so much. And he quickly shuffles off into town.
I'll look at Bree. I'll catch you later, right?
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck out here. And yeah, call if you have any issues. We'll do the same.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Lovely. I think we cut to a panel and Louis and Forrest, you are looking through the window as you see this house that Jake has just entered. He is in his living room and he is stuffing the money under his sofa. And as quickly as he's come in, he begins to leave the house, and you guys quickly duck for cover as he begins to make his way west after leaving his house.
This is away from
it
the
is-
witch forest.
It
Yes?
is away from the witch forest, and it
Uh-huh.
is getting dark.
I mean, Forrest, I say we stay the course.
Yeah. We need to find what's going on here.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
As it is getting darker and darker, you can see in this city, you can see that there is actually sets of street physical lamps, filled with this like bright blue fire. Um, Anybody walking by would know it's like a witch's flame. Um, Witches, as much as they are feared, they're part of a key infrastructure in a lot of parts of the city. So their influence is felt everywhere. But the light is dim in the rain, and the cover of night is thick. And you can see the path is clear. Jake is making his way towards the west side of the kingdom. I'll bring up the map very quickly. He seems to be making his way towards the dockyard.
Also, real quick question: where was was it just in the reef where
His
where
house?
Miranda's stuff was? Where was that?
Yeah,
Was
that
Miranda?
was Miranda's stuff is a little bit close to the upper part of the reef.
Gotcha.
Destroyed part of town.
Mm-hmm.
Have we ever been over here before?
I think the reputation of the dockyard is that it's a little bit of the rougher side of town.
I clutch my necklace close.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of people visit the kingdom, lots of traveling traders. In fact, that's what Drip said about the origins of the shell necklace, that a traveling tradesman came in from the dock and was selling these in bulk. But yeah, less than savory crowd. I think your parents would tell you to avoid the dockyard at night.
Come on, Forrest. Last one there's a rotten fish egg.
Okay. And I go forward too.
Not so fast. Not so fast.
Hold on.
Lovely.
So we're walking forward.
Have you
and
guys-
there's still the witch lights. Gotcha.
Yes. Have you guys informed the other two? Have you all used your shell phones at all?
Can we
Communicate?
text or is it only call?
You said shell phone earlier, and I was like, hell yeah, I have a shell phone now.
Yeah. I'm
We can
picturing
text,
like
yes.
the
If we
I
can
feel
call,
like it's call. Like you put
then
it.
I feel like no, we're on full silent mode.
Damn.
no comms. Good comms.
Lovely. I think you see this guy begin to walk forward, and he makes his way past the dockyard and begins to make his way towards these large sets of warehouses across the dockyard. These warehouses help shield incoming ships. They are generally connected to the ocean, and they are, again, these large roofed buildings that kind of line the entirety of this west side of the city on the coast. Lots of them are just for the purpose of storage. This is a big part of the industry here. But you can see that Jake is a little nervous as he walks underneath the street lamps and begins to make his way to one warehouse in particular. And he
Do we notice anything
makes-
about this warehouse?
pretty unassuming on the outside. There are some couple windows that line the very top portion of this warehouse. There might be a slight foothold if somebody were to climb up there and look inside. Potentially.
Here's the plan. Get yourself some rocks or something, because I'm going to try to jump up there, but just in case it makes a loud clatter, can you be ready to run super fast and, like, throw some rocks a different direction and then circle back and we'll just hightail it out of here if there's any trouble?
Okay. If you jump up there, I'll and I look. What about? Is there any like big garbage cans or like trash cans or things I could like knock over?
Yeah, tons. They're already knocked over. The storm is getting pretty rough.
Would the storm cover the noise?
Oh, yeah, is there thunder?
Yeah. You can hear it very, very much in the distance at this point. Like
Good.
it's happening every minute or so.
How about if you jump up there, I'll keep watch.
Good thinking, Forrest. Who knew that super brains was part of your powers, too? and I'll hop up to the window.
Ah,
Lovely. It's wet up here, and it's not much of a foothold. So I think this is actually an unleash your
Uh-oh.
powers to
Bree.
see if you can control it. Yeah, well enough that you don't immediately smash through.
Okay. My freak is at a 0.
Hey,
you got it. No,
Can it
no
be
downstairs.
savior? No, that's only danger I can substitute. Okay. All right. What was
ooh,
11.
it? Yes!
Nice.
Jumping high, rolling high.
11.
Nice job.
You have completely nailed this, and I will briefly describe what is inside. It is a dark building with only a few passive flames in terms of lamps. Not a witch light, but just some slow burning oil lamps. And they line the room in such a way that you cannot see much past the door. But if you're adjusting your eyes ever so slightly, you can see that past this warehouse, it is open to the ocean. And in the place of where a ship would be, there seems to be something there with like a tarp on it. Probably a ship that is covered up, but it's a little bit larger than a ship would be. So probably a little bit of like a, what's a name for a larger ship?
A barge.
Galleon.
A barge, a
barge.
galleon. Yeah, like a galleon.
It appears to be ship-shaped, and it's not moving.
It's
But
just a really big.
it's ship shape. Is it
No, it's just
keeping
really
things
big.
ship shape?
It's about galleon size though.
Not a living organism that I
Hard
can
to tell.
Hard
Hard to tell. It's very dark, but you can see as the lightning strikes, as it exposed to the outside, you can see standing in front of this giant sort of thing underneath the tarp are two figures.
2 figures.
Is one Jake?
Jake, you can clearly see, has just walked into the building, and besides him, the oil lamps give him a little bit of a passive lighting. However, there are those two other figures.
Is one of them frog-shaped?
2 figures.
You can see
Did you say frog shape?
you can see as Jake begins to walk into the door, lightning strikes again, and one of the figures, cloaked in the darkness, extends a long sort of limb out as this long protruding limb shuts the door closed. And
Oh!
It has to be Kermit.
Oh!
It has to be Kermit the Frog.
Is it not Lila?
No.
Lila.
That's not Kermit.
No?
Kermit's,
With the
That's
tongue.
Kermit's
Lila.
mom.
The
With
tongue?
the tongue.
Kermit's mom.
Okay, but there's 2 figures.
Kermit's second mom. Yeah, one's Drip.
Oh.
Is it really?
No.
I don't.
We don't
fucking
know.
it
we
wouldn't
don't
be-
know. Sorry.
it wouldn't-
Keep
yeah,
keep
we
going.
don't
What do I have to roll to know?
I think you're just watching for now.
Okay. Paint the
It's a
picture for me.
cutscene.
It is a cutscene, and a full panel page emerges as a passive light lights a figure. The figure begins to walk out. And from the darkness, a lamp is lit. And bathed in this warm, flickering light, you see a full man standing about 6'5".
I
And-
blush.
This figure begins to walk forward, and he's dressed in a suit, perfectly tailored. But the thing that strikes you the most is his mask. Almost like a full skulled mask, with accents of like the type of like carapace of a horseshoe crab. You see this figure that is walking forward, and all you can make out is the confidence of his gait, slow, deliberate, and the piercing eyes that you can see from underneath the mask. And the voice is muffled, but despite the rain, you can kind of tune in. You've done a good job, Jake. I owe you.
What?
And Jake kind of steps forward meekly. I mean, I gotta thank you. The business was about to go under. I just, I feel really bad. Can I use some of the money at least to help rebuild? And the figure stops him. You've got a good heart.
It's Aiden.
But I would temper your kindness with caution. I value secrecy, and your discretion is advised. Now, the second half of the payment shall be delivered upon our agreed terms. And Jake kind of shudders. I got the crabs. And he brings them forward. You're not gonna destroy anything else, are you? And the masked figure says, you've done your job. I will call upon you in the future, but know this, you are doing a good thing.
Is it a voice I recognize?
It's hard to tell.
Tell me it's not Aiden's voice. Tell me it's not Aiden's.
It's not.
I think
I mean, he is saying you're doing a good thing. That's the thing Aiden says.
Who do we know that's 6'5"?
Is Aiden 6'5"?
No.
Aiden's pretty tall.
Yeah, but is it Drip Hosier height?
Yeah.
The thing
He's
though
so
is
tall.
Drip,
Wait, how tall is Hosier?
I'm looking it up.
but the thing is we have
Let's-
been trailing Jake, so there's no way Drip could have got there before us.
Hosier is 6'6".
Hosier's
But
6'6".
he can breathe underwater, so maybe he did a
Oh.
The conversation continues.
Can I pierce the mask?
In this situation, I think some added context will help.
Okay.
Ay, 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 ay.
You see Jake kind of let a crab in his hand walk forward. You guys probably want to stand back for this. I can roughly control them, but they're a bit testy. You swear? Nothing else get destroyed? And the masked figure steps back from where he's standing, approaches Jake and puts a hand on his shoulder, and now you can fully see him in the light. And he puts that hand on his shoulder and says, just trust me. And the magic happens in front of you. The crab begins to shift and turn, and as it grows in size, it barely crests the ceiling of this warehouse, and that is when you hear a rumbling from beneath the tarp as lightning strikes again, and emerging from the tarp, one gooey limb at a time, you see the rumbling form of the person who killed your brother, hiding after all this time. And you hear a pained moan, a grumble, as this figure begins to consume the crab, fully integrate it into its body, slowly dissolving it until the amoeba-like creature begins to shrink in size. And you can see that Jake is terrified. What are you doing with that thing? What are you... And you can see this masked figure grabs Jake and slams him on the wall. That thing has a name. Just like you and me. And that thing has been cursed by this society that values shells over people's lives. We're not done. And he tosses something back. You can't really quite see it. Back to the figure in the shadows, as that shadowy figure extends that limb once more, and a briefcase is given to Jake as he kind of looks away. I want nothing to do with this, all right? Please, you did me a great favor. I don't want to... And the figure just puts a finger to Jake's lips. I'll be calling upon you soon. And Jake just kind of stumbles out of the warehouse into the rain and just kind of fully books it. He's just running.
I'm like trying to signal I haven't seen any of this stuff. I'm like signaling.
I think as you're looking up at me signaling, Luigi faints and falls. However 10 feet or however tall the window is. It's
like 60 feet tall. It's really high up.
You better catch me.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, I'm gonna catch Louis.
That's a defend someone for sure.
So Savior?
I just witnessed horrors beyond comprehension.
Okay, yeah.
I was made for jumping. Okay. What am I gonna do about this?
This is just Savior.
Mm-hmm.
He's alive.
Okay.
That's a 9. It's a mixed success. It costs you expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation.
Use a team. Use a team.
I can't.
Use it
Because I have the Max and Savior. I can't. I have Max Savior.
Oh, no.
You're Max Savior, and Louis, you're knocked out. Nobody else can
passed out. Yeah.
in this
No.
situation.
Yeah. We're fine. They can't do anything.
I think you are running. You're not thinking, and you rush straight forward. But there are too many things happening in your mind. Once you grab Louis in your hands, you don't think to phase. You smash through this warehouse, carrying Louis' unconscious body, as before you, in the light, the lightning flashes, and you see a frog-like individual, this giant masked man, in the writhing form of the thing that has destroyed the city. And that, I think, is where this edition of this comic ends.